Just waiting for the late start.
Yeah. Yes, we are live, and like I want to tell everyone, it's never me. It's usually Joe or Lauren, but we're
Yeah, much like
That's
we're here.
actually true.
I'm
And
not
and the
telling.
funny part is Mark is in the earliest time. Like it's 5 a.m. his time.
yeah.
Yes. But yes, we are live. It's my Wednesday crew, Joe and Lauren, and like I mentioned to everyone, we are gonna start trying to bring new school members on every Wednesday to join us, and we have the one and only Ryan All-Nighter Hider. So morning, everyone.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning.
Yes. So, Hyder, everyone probably knows you from the comments, right? Everyone sees you commenting, supporting, being a great moderator. But maybe people don't really know. Like even Joel, he jumped on. He's like, "Where exactly are you, Hyder?" So maybe quickly give everyone a 1 minute spiel on who All Nighter Hyder is, where's your home base, where do you invest, and things like that.
Well, before I start, although I work happily for myself, all the ideas and topics discussed in this channel are that of my own. Thank you, Uncle Steve. Yeah, so I'm All-Nighter Hider. I'm based out of San Diego, California. I'm here now in Gary, Indiana, which is my REI market. This is where I do my real estate investing. I am hands-on. I am an out-of-state investor, but I am hands-on here now. Millennial Mike and I have been here taking trips once a month. This trip is actually 10 days. It's a good chunk of time. It gives me an opportunity to actually get some work done. We are here on the job site now. Yeah, that's about it, man. I've been on YouTube 6 years now. Been consistently liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And the consistency is the key matter. That's what has built up the network. That's what set me apart from literally any other viewer. The consistency and a little bit of smart ass in my comments.
Yeah, your personality shines through even the comments.
So I was telling Mike about this the other night, that being just written textual comments, there is no context. So those emojis that I use all the time are just they're critical to show that, hey, I'm just joking around or I'm being serious if I'm not using something. They're pretty critical to show a little bit of context so things aren't taken out of context.
Yeah, and when you say Mike, you're referring to Millennial Mike, right? Who
Millennial,
you've
yeah.
also met over social media, and that's kind of why you're in Gary, Indiana, right? So, that's kind of what we're going to talk about today too, right? Because I know Zuber mentioned they went to, for example, the Bigger Pockets convention where Dion was the keynote speaker, and a lot of the people came up to them and was asking like how do I meet friends on this journey? And that was one of the surprises that came up to them. And like we said, Hyder has connected with a lot of people over social media, YouTube, and he wanted to kind of touch on that. And that's kind of how we all known each other before this, Joe and Lauren, before the Vegas event. We never really met in person before, right? But Hyder, like, yeah, let's touch on this as far as building relationships or friendships or even just a community online, like what you're doing.
So how I started was in 2017. I was in a rollover crash in a little Ford Ranger I had. I spent $1,000 for this thing, and I got a little bit more out of the crash. I got a windfall of 25 grand. And when I got that, I believe I was 37, 38, something like that. And I was at a point in my life where it was like, oh man, I need to start thinking about my future. I have absolutely nothing prepared for a future. I was check to check, just living basically day to day, planning only about a week at a time. And I got that windfall of 25K. It was the most I'd ever had at any one point in time in my life. So I thought I better not squander it. I better use this towards my future. And I didn't know what to do. So I went on YouTube and I typed in financial terms and their definitions. I figured I had better learn the language of finance to even start to learn finance. Through there, I found a couple of goofballs and weeded my way through the goofballs into Mark Moss. Mark Moss was a great resource. And I simply did what he asked. I liked and I shared and I commented and I subscribed, and I did it consistently with some smart ass comments. And he would comment back to me, and I thought that was really cool. And I got a response from a guy that had at that point maybe, I don't know, 150,000 subscribers. maybe 200,000 subscribers. So I thought that was pretty amazing. And through Mark, I met George Gammon. Through George Gammon, I met Simon Caron, the uneducated economist. Through Simon, I then met Matt, the lumberjack landlord, and from there, I met everyone in where we're at, and it just blossomed. That's been the journey so far, and let's continue this fun journey. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just want to give Millennial Mike thanks for the $5 super chat, but basically he wants to let you know you guys are not getting robbed, Heider. He says to inform him the lead line replacement guys are headed over, so you guys are not getting robbed.
In the live stream.
But yeah, so Joel, maybe you can kind of touch on this too, because like I said, that we, before the Vegas event, we probably connected, 2 to 3 years ago, right? Online, social media, and we never met in person. But like I said, I would consider you a friend and, things like that, right? So maybe you talk about your journey online, social media, and building relationships.
No, we can't hear you.
Still on mute.
You have to unmute me. You do.
No, I think you muted yourself. Mark.
No, you're unmuted.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, and I mean, first off, I mean, it's great to finally meet both of you, Mark and Lauren, specifically in person. And it's just, meeting Lauren, it's like Lauren towering over Mark. I didn't really expect that, but it's okay. No, like Mark, you and I met I think in 2022, and I was running a different podcast at the time. And so, yeah, fast forward 4 years, and here we are doing lives, and the whole idea that, hey, your best friends are the people that you're sending 14 reels a day, that kind of a mindset. Like, we have a lot of fun, and I think in real life, right, like, it's hard to find people with the right type of mindset that are on the same kind of trajectory as you and think the same way and trying to grow something. Because I have high school friends that I still keep up with. There's like 7 of us, and we still do summer lake trips and things like that. But like, they have kids, I have kids, they're married, but like, they don't have any rentals. Like, it's just a different kind of mindset. Like, they're in this little bubble, and here I am over here. So it's not easy to find people that have the same type of mindset. So yeah, I mean, finding people across state lines on the internet, like, that's been something that's been important for me, to be able to find like-minded people. So
And talking about social media, and you had another podcast before, but Lauren also started her YouTube channel, and she is streaming live. I believe she may have to check her settings though, because the comments are not showing up on her page or staying there when you comment. But she is live streaming, so I put her channel there, and she also she has about 3 videos up. She did one with Michael Zuber, Emily Lopez. I think she did one with Chris recently.
yeah, Chris Price.
Chris Price, who same thing. We also just met in Vegas for the first time. But Lauren, it's been a challenge for you, right, to kind of put yourself out there a little bit on social media, getting the YouTube channel going and things like that, right? So maybe you can also talk a little bit about making relationships.
Yeah, I literally
online.
hate it. It's the bane of my existence. I don't like, and it's not like putting myself out there. It's the act of like uploading videos and like it's the technical side of it. Like, if I could just show up like and have everything else done for me, I'd be putting out content all day, every day. But I just don't want to deal with getting Chris's video up took like a while to upload, and then I'm like onto something else. And yeah, so it's just, I'm not a tech savvy person, but I will say that, had I waited to like connect with people through social media, even though I don't like post that often, like Mark found me on my Instagram and I haven't posted that much. So, even posting like a little bit is still like valuable. Like, you don't have to be the person who's posting 3 times a day and whatever. But if I had waited to find people that are doing real estate in real life, I never would have found them, because I still don't really have that many friends that are investors. So I do think that it is really valuable to be growing your online community, if even just for the sheer fact of like having people to connect with on real estate. So yeah, it is valuable.
And I do want to say though, at least you connected your channel ahead of time. And I was just giving Joel shit about this because I sent you the link ahead of time. I sent you the thumbnail to make it super easy to just connect your channel, and yet Joel does it at the last minute every single time. But Hyder, like I said, I also put your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel is in the chat. Kind of stalled out. I mean, you have two channels now, right? You're working on kind of two projects. But I think your biggest thing is, like I said, and someone commented like Harrison's, as far as moderating, right? Just being there for everyone else is kind of your strength, right?
Yeah, like I said, that consistency, constantly being there. Yeah, Simon mentions it too. I'm on virtually every single live stream that I get a notification for. Every once in a while, though, I'll miss a daily financial news too.
Yeah, Heider, I feel like your superpower is just, that consistency, and that you are able to like have your personality shine through even in the comments. Like that's a really hard thing to do with like just text, like essentially almost like it's like the Twitter, just like commenting. Like you're able to like have comedy, be funny, and like that's a skill set. Like it's not easy to do that and to like consistently show up. And I feel like also that's what's made like doing the lives fun. Like it's great to sit here and talk to Mark and Joel. But the people in the comments, I feel like, are what make it like actually really fun. Like, would we continue to be here every Wednesday talking to each other if it weren't for like the people in the comments, like making funny jokes and making it fun? Probably not.
Right. Yeah. So as a moderator, I've kind of called myself a glorified reader, but I think it's more than that. I think I'm actually more of an egg. I'm an emulsifier. I tend to bring everybody together a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I try to do. If there's somebody new in the chat, I try to welcome them, especially if they're leaving nice comments. That's awesome. Welcome them to the fold. Women in real estate. That's another one. I love seeing the women in the real estate. I love the perspective that you, Lauren, and your women counterparts bring. So I like to encourage the women and always say hi to the women in the chat. Make them feel a little more welcome.
You're always trying to sneak on to the women, the ORAT,
which is going on right now. So but
I've actually never attended it because.
But before we get into like even Joel, like we kind of touched on this before we went live. He's connected with people through social media and even the community, and he has an event coming up this weekend. But Heider, Brady Morgan does say all Nighter Heider lives in the YouTube live streams. I swear he does nothing else. And then here's a question for everyone, I think, what may want to know. Jim, the grumpy contractor, we know where his name comes from, but he's asking, where did Heider's name come from?
Oh yeah, I actually just told Mike's son this, James. So nothing special. I was in high school, and like everyone does, I was drinking in high school. There's a high school party, and everyone passed out. The party just kind of died slowly, except for my buddy and I. We were the only two that stayed up drinking the keg till the keg was done. We tapped that thing. And at the end of the night, in the morning, I think it was probably 7:30 in the morning, just him and I shooting the shit, and he called me all-nighter Heider. And just because it rhymed and we were drunk, we fell out laughing. Like gut-bursting laughter. It was hilarious. Our cheeks were hurting. It was funny. So we went around to the party where everyone was passed out. We started waking people up one by one or two by two and telling them the joke, and everybody was laughing about it, and the party just kind of was reborn, and then All-Nighter Heider was born.
I thought it was because you were like in Alaska.
No, it's taken on meanings. It's taken on multiple meanings.
It's become your whole personality. Like you're like, I have to move to Alaska now, where it is all night.
Yeah, it really has become a branding now. It's something I don't know how I'd get away from it, to be honest.
Millennial Mike says Hyder worked his way from guy with a name tag to co-owner of a 5-plex with me and my Gary, Indiana roommate and 2A enthusiast. One of my closest friends, all because of YouTube. I also want, like I said, I want to mention Joel. We're talking about building relationships online, social media. You know, he has an event coming up. I believe Brandon Potts, who's in our community, is going to be speaking. But Joel, people are texting me saying your shirt is dizzying them. You're
Really?
yeah. If you look at my eyes are actually like
I also
I'm
think
spinning.
it's like the light shining through the window.
The shadows.
It's the shadows from the light in the windows.
But Joel, yes, talk about connecting with people online, social media, and like this event you have coming up.
Yeah. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Good.
Sweet. Thank you for unmuting me again. I'll utilize my time wisely. No, but like, you know, Mark and I, we've been doing this podcasting thing for 4 years now, and most of it's done on Zoom. People from different parts of the country, and my lending business is all over the country, from Maryland, Virginia, where I'd say probably about 50 to 60% of the business that I do is in the Maryland, Virginia area. And this is just something that I've done for over almost 20 years. And again, I live in St. Louis. And so doing business in different markets, I've got contacts and network in different markets, from Maryland to Florida to Texas to California and everything in between. And so this journey with the YouTube channel and doing interviews and doing it in person, so just trying to kind of go against the grain where so much is done on a Zoom. I want to do it in person and just have that in-person vibe. And there's just a different energy when you're in the same room. And so this is going to be another extension again, because in Vegas, we did 7 interviews. I brought some equipment. We did 7 interviews. Lauren was on there. I asked Mark to do it. He declined because he was camera shy, obviously. But Dylan, one of the Dear Miracle, one of the speakers, PM Jen, Cody, I'm blanking, Aaron, and we had 7 different interviews. And so being able to do it in person, we're going to be continuing to do this throughout the rest of the year. So in Dallas, I rented a really cool whiskey bar. So it's going to be off hours during the day. And we've got right now 3 interviews lined up. Brandon's one of them. We're just going to be talking about, again, probably a lot of what everyone heard at the actual conference in this presentation, which is going to be truncated and going through some examples. And then I'm going to be in Kansas City in April, New Orleans in May, and then I'll be in Los Angeles June 13th and spending some time with Stay Winning Pod. And we're going to be putting on an event over there. So just trying to do stuff in person, just kind of do something a little bit different. So,
Joe, are you streaming live right now? Or is it just okay? Because I can't tell whose channel Flavio is coming from, but like I said, Lauren's. I don't know if
he's on my channel.
Yeah, see, because it doesn't show up. I don't see the comments on your channel, so I don't know. You might have to check your settings after.
Okay. You'll have to tell me what to do. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Flavio's on my channel. He doesn't like Lauren much anymore.
I don't know.
Well, he was on my channel.
On me.
But so Joel's having another event. So if you're in the area, go check it out. Once again, Lauren and I were never invited to this.
Yeah, I was like, this is actually the first time I'm hearing about it, but
just like this Florida event that we weren't invited to.
Maybe I was also going to be in Dallas.
I mean, you might as well just come down.
It's going to be something to see.
Well, I don't even know when it is. This is the first
Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
This Saturday.
Yeah. You want to come?
Tell us late enough that obviously we already have plans for this weekend. It's Wednesday.
I mean, I planned this last week. So what's your point?
It was posted all over Facebook.
Really? It's kind of crazy.
Thanks, Heider.
What'd you say? I missed it.
It was posted all over Facebook.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not on. So let's talk about that too. Let's talk about that too. Like, because Lauren, you're not on Facebook. You're primarily YouTube and Instagram.
Are you guys still doing X?
Me and Joel are. I don't know if Hyder's on. Are you on there, Hyder?
I'm on there, but I stick to YouTube.
Yeah. So how do you? So Hyder, talk about that. Like, why only YouTube, or how do you decide on what platform, or how do you go about that?
I only have so much time. I couldn't split it up between any of the other platforms.
Yeah.
But really, YouTube is the one that I know. I really am I shouldn't say it so much because it's kind of like saying I can't, but I'm getting better at being less tech-tarded. So I'm learning every day, but I'm still debilitated. So yeah, I stick to the platform that I know.
Yeah, I think for me that I like YouTube the best. I like X more for information, I guess. There's just, I mean, you have to filter some things there. But it's weird that a lot of people do say Facebook is where they get the most interaction from, though. They get a lot of more comments and conversations going on the Facebook platform. So kind of interesting.
I turned my Facebook notifications off. That was too much. But that
No.
is the other platform that I can kind of navigate. Things like Instagram, bro, I'm too old for that stuff. I don't know what all the little icons mean. I just don't know what anything is. Maybe if it was worded, then I could see. But yeah, the little icons aren't really user friendly to me.
So it sounds like most of us are talking about the technical side and maybe the challenges of social media.
We're
But I
definitely
think
not drawing a Gen Z crowd here.
well, so what I think a lot of people that came up to Zuber and presented that struggle they have of it wasn't so much the technical side. It was just how do they build relationships or friendships, on this journey, right? So, Heider, maybe touch on that too, like as far as how do you build that connection, or what are you doing out there to build those relationships?
Well, the comments I like to see as a moderator are just the simply hi, how is everybody doing? Just the simple little questions, the simple engagements. The engagements about the topic are good too, but addressing the actual chat is that's kind of the way to make friends, I think. But as well, engaging in the topic is another way of engaging with people and getting comments back. But yeah, kind of addressing the chat. That's what I look for as a moderator.
Joel, any suggestions for people that are struggling finding friends on this journey? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. We're talking about different platforms, and each of them function differently, whether it be technology, but also like the actual way to get monetized or to connect. Like YouTube, it's hard to build relationships on YouTube unless you're in a live stream. Like you don't have there's no DMs in YouTube unless I'm mistaken, right? Whereas like X, Instagram, Facebook, especially Facebook, right? Like you're connected to typically a real person. And like if you know them, you can DM them, right? Instagram, X, I mean, yes, DMs. But I just think it's interesting. Like, they're like YouTube and Facebook have the most traffic of all the platforms, and so I'm monetized on Facebook. I mean, we're talking like $80, $60, $100. Mark, are you monetized yet on Facebook?
I am, but I make like $1 a month, maybe.
Okay. Well, that's more than you did last month, right? Because I mean, you've been posting more. Seems like.
Well, I figure since you post like 1,000 times a day, and since I'm on there, I might as well post something too.
Well done, but you're getting more engagement, I think, than the majority of my posts, right? So that means that you've done a pretty good job of building your network.
Well, like I said, I
Mark's like
think
YouTube famous now too. He has like so many subscribers.
no, I think I like I said, Facebook. I think for whatever reason, you just get more engagement than Instagram. Instagram, people would just like a lot of time. They'll like, but they won't comment. For some reason, Facebook, people comment more, or there's more interaction there. I don't know what the reason is, but it also yes, Flavio, my only member, is here for some reason. I didn't know my members thing was on, and Flavio subscribed to my membership. So I keep telling him he misses the members only. But
the one
Joe,
thing I was gonna say,
I just want to say real quick, you hurt people's feelings in Vegas because you just left without saying bye. Flavio is saying, please say bye to people when you leave Texas, Joel.
That's
I love a good Irish exit, Joel. Don't let them bully you into saying goodbye. They won't let you leave.
Well, we don't. Lauren just pops like I said. She's a butterfly. She just shows up whenever. Hey, Hugo's here. He said this is his favorite platform.
How long have I been doing this with you guys?
I think going on 2 years, right?
That's been 2 years already? Man.
You gotta be about 2 years, yeah. And you finally got your YouTube channel
I feel
going,
like
which is
it's
cool.
been. Has it only been 2 years? Feels like it's been 4.
It could be. I don't know.
Well, because Sierra was on in the very beginning, right? It was Sierra. Were you on when Sierra was on?
Yeah, Sierra.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was 2 years ago.
That's been probably 3 years or 2 years. I don't know.
That's been a few years.
And Matt, Mojo Mindset,
Yeah.
who has a kid, so he's kind of disappeared also.
Mhm.
But yeah, you've been pretty consistent, so I thank you for that. And you finally made it to Vegas, and that was a lot of fun. And you got your YouTube channel going, and you are posting a little bit more on Instagram. So,
Yes, I do.
How long did it take you to edit the price video? Like, okay, you got it.
I didn't edit it.
We'll upload it. I mean, download it, upload it, all that.
Oh, like a week.
No, but like when you push the button.
Oh, I don't know because I downloaded it and then I like left and came back and then I started uploading it and I just leave it because I feel like it takes like maybe an hour and a half. So I'll just like do it when I don't need to use my computer and I'll just leave it and come back.
Yeah, if I don't have Wi-Fi, my videos, even an 8-minute video, will take 2 hours or so to upload just using my phone.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and I have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Especially out in Arizona and Bullhead. I just get terrible reception out there.
Oh, this is a great question from Harrison, who was last week's weekly guest or our new guest last week. But he says, Heider, what are the hardest channels to moderate? Which ones talk the most crap on Bitcoin?
All of them.
I don't know about the second one, but the hardest channels are the ones, man, honestly, probably Simon's if politics starts getting brought up. That's the one where I start getting a little touchy as well. I don't like politics. I really like to separate the politics from economics. I don't think, although the two are correlated, I like to see them in a different light. So those tend to get controversial, and that's where people tend to get a little heated. And I don't like to block people from YouTube. That hurts the channel, right? The YouTube algorithm is going to say, hey, why are you taking people away that I'm sending? So I try not to do that. I try to talk people down off the ledge and just kind of calm them down. And oftentimes when I've done that, they have calmed down and they've actually become friends of the channel. So that's worked out really well. But yeah, I'd say probably Simon's channel. It gets pretty controversial there sometimes.
I believe you were also on that live stream Simon had the other day, the Uneducated Economist, but he was also mentioning he's noticing that it feels like his videos aren't reaching as many people, or the algorithm is affecting him. So do you notice that? Because you're like always there. So do you notice there's a difference in his viewership?
Yeah, it does seem a little muted. And not just his channel, but yeah, especially his channel.
Interesting. Yeah, I know he was mentioning he thinks that the AI type videos might be getting more traction. I don't know. That's kind of what I picked up what he was mentioning on that. But
That's probably what's happening to my channel too.
but Joe,
30 subscribers.
Oh, there you go. There, she threw it out there. So everyone that hasn't subscribed, I will throw Lauren, Joel, and Heider's channels in the chat. So go please subscribe there. But Joe V, I'm surprised he hasn't commented saying that he'll jump on one of these Wednesday live streams. But we are lined up for about the next 4 weeks. But it'll be fun to get Joe V on. So because he's always talking crap in the chat. But it'll be nice to get him on.
Jovi's my biggest supporter, so.
Yes, he does say it only feels so long, Lauren, because you have to deal with Mark and Joel.
Yeah.
Hey, Max is here. Max finally woke up. So he says Heider tends to get controversial. Yep. Man, everyone teases me about Coconut Wireless, but Brady Morgan says I have shitty middle of the nowhere internet. It takes me about 4 hours to upload a half-hour video. They say I'm getting fiber optics soon, so can't wait. So yeah, go check out. I should have it too. But Brady has very good YouTube channel also too, and he also just came out with his book. So go look for it on Amazon. Jovi says he loves Lauren.
Love you too.
But let's see.
Well, before I forget, I
Yeah.
thought Joel brought up a great point with the live streams, because that is really how I got my start with George Gammon and Rebel Capitalist. He would do live streams every Sunday, I think it was, and that's where we would all just get together. Those were scheduled. It was great, man. We would every week we'd see each other. He would also do the midweek live streams on his other channel, and again, see the same kind of people, and that's where we all just, the consistency, it grew. And he doesn't actually do those live streams anymore, and I don't know how his channel's hurting from it, but I don't want to say my reputation's hurting, but it's stopped kind of growing from that, at least from his side of the channel, or of the YouTube environment.
Why don't you stay right there real quick though and talk about like that relationship, but it also like how it puts you in certain rooms, right? So you also I don't know if you were given a ticket, but you were able to attend some of their events, correct?
It was, yeah. So I've been to Rebel Capitalist Live, oh, man, I think 5 times now, and that event is a lot of fun. I get to see a lot of good people that I know, like Joseph Wang. I met him there. But again, I made a name for myself on his channel by just being consistent and commenting there every single video. Jason Hartman, met him. I actually met him at Mark Moss's conference, but I see him at the conference all the time, so I get to make friends with him and see him in person. Robert Kiyosaki. Oh man, that was okay. That was a great one. When Simon was doing the first Rebel Capitalist Live, he was invited to go speak there. And before he was getting up on stage, he was in the green room with butterflies in his stomach, first speaking engagement. And as he's got his butterflies in his stomach, Robert Kiyosaki is up on stage talking. And he's got everybody shouting, and just the room's full of energy. And the reason that was because before Robert was up on stage, I saw him and George in the back of the auditorium. George is pinning the microphone on Robert's chest, and they're both really tall. George is 6'4", and Kiyosaki must be, if not 6'4", like 6'3". They're both up there, and I'm only 5'8", 5'9", so I'm looking up at them, and it's a little intimidating. But I see my chance. I walk past the two of them, but I see my chance. I'm thinking, I got to go say something to Robert. So I turn around, and I don't know what I'm going to say. But I'm thinking, this is the morning of the second day of the conference, and it's a little dull. There wasn't a whole lot of energy in the room. So I walk up to George at that, and George and Robert at that just horrible time, just the worst time to approach them. 2 seconds before Kiyosaki's going up on stage, and I reach out my hand and I say, Robert, can I ask you a question? And he starts shooting me with, no. He's like pushing his hands away at me, pawing at me. And I just asked my question right through the objection. Robert, when you go up there, would you curse for emphasis? This place needs some energy. And when I said that, he did a total 180, and I'm going to curse. Oh, you motherfucker. He loved it. And he's like pawing at me to come in. And so George is just laughing. He thinks it's funny. He's just chuckling. So the 2 seconds are up. They go and they walk up on stage. And Kiyosaki's introduction up on stage was, I need to apologize to my wife. She asked me not to curse. But this gentleman in the back asked me to curse. And I'm going to fucking blah, 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 blah. And he starts going off, and the place just erupts. And that's what Simon had heard when he's got all the butterflies in his stomach, and he just like sank to the floor at that point. Yeah, that was a good time with George and Robert Kiyosaki. George's little inside joke with me.
Brady, if you are still here, if you have a link for your book, can you put it in the chat? I don't seem to have it in my notes right now.
So you're able to do that in the comments and in real life.
I do, yeah. I do, yeah. I got no problem talking to people. Simon was actually mentioning that on a couple of live streams, how I'm just a social butterfly, and it's kind of weird talking about myself, but yeah, I guess I kind of am. I have no problem talking to people and starting a conversation. in lines at stores, just wherever.
Mhm.
Topic comes up. If there's any kind of semblance of something in common, I go for it.
Oh, he wants, dude, you can unmute yourself, I think, right? Can't you unmute yourself? Oh,
No,
okay.
you did.
All right.
Well,
Go
this
ahead,
is a
speak.
question for Heider. So you mentioned San Diego, Alaska, now Gary, Indiana, and then working on these properties. So from like a just living expenses standpoint, can you share a little bit about just the journey of how are you able to be that, transient and pay the bills? What's working, what's not working? How did you get there?
Oh man, I have gone minimalist to the absolute unsexiest point that there is. I have minimized my bills to absolutely next to nothing. I can actually, in San Diego, I can live for about, I want to say about $1,200 a month.
Holy
And
crap.
yeah, reason being is because it's completely unsexy. I live in my parents' backyard. So I live on their property behind their garage. So I have behind their detached garage. I've got a little bit of privacy back there, but I built myself a tiny house. Because I go to Alaska every year, I'm only a resident of California for 10 months. So those 2 months, I've got to store all my stuff. And I was going into storage lockers, just in and out, going between apartments, in and out. And it was onerous, right? It was just a lot to do. So I went ahead and took $8,000 that I had. It was about $7,000 at the time. And 1 week before I was going up to Alaska, I cleared out a pad in their backyard and I just started building my tiny house. It's 16 by 12. So that's outside dimensions. So the inside square footage is a little less than 187 square feet. Very, very tiny. It's basically a larger bedroom. Inside that, I've got a kitchenette. So I built myself cabinets out of scrap lumber. It's nice stuff, but it is still scrap. I've got a sink, but no hot water. So I've got running water, but no hot water. I do not have a toilet. I have a urinal outside. And my urinal consists of 4-inch ABS down to 3-inch ABS, down to 2-inch ABS, down to 1.5 inches. And there we go. I've got heat and I've got a little space heater, and I actually do have an air conditioner out there because it does get hot in San Diego. But that's the minimal lifestyle. What I pay for insurance on my trucks, fuel, just very little bills. I don't pay for any cable. Haven't had cable in over 10 years, so that's why I'm smarter than the average bear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take in the programming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, there's absolutely no extras though, other than archery. I do spend some money on archery.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's the gist of it, man.
And then when you go to Alaska in the summers, are you doing fishing? What are you doing up there?
I am doing fishing, yeah. So these trips are work related. So when I'm going up to Arizona, it's work related. Oftentimes my parents are paying for most of those expenses. I'll pay for the gas, I'll pay for my food, I'll pay for my stuff, but I mean, they're paying for the materials. Alaska is definitely work related. I go up there fishing commercially, and the captain pays for the ride up there, the ride back, although I do have to switch my ticket. That reminds me, because I do go and spend time with Simon in Astoria. So rather than coming straight back down to San Diego from Alaska, I stop and we spend our birthdays together in Astoria. So I've got to swap my ticket around. And then here's work related as well. I do pay my ticket to get out here and get back, but it's been pretty cheap so far. Like in between $160 to $200 for round trip. But definitely doable.
Mm-hmm.
You and Kyle Dorn are gonna have a battle.
Yeah,
who can live the most minimalist lifestyle.
My dad, actually, God bless him. He's been in the same position that I am. If you see my little title down there, Director of Safe Streets now. So I restarted the same 501c3 that he did. He ran a public benefit corporation that centered around a big mouthful of words, civil nuisance abatement. Essentially, he would empower a neighborhood to get a jerk to stop being a jerk using incentives. So that's what I'm starting, and that's been a challenge, but it's also a lot of fun.
That is Hyder's other channel, the Safe Streets Now channel. Big Val says Mountain Man Living. But there, Joe V is asking, is Hyder's legal troubles all solved? Is he still fighting fish and wildlife?
Actually, yeah, I am. So what happened with that was I got a court date and I wasn't able to make it to the court. My truck wasn't going to go there. So I opted for the video court. The court started at, I believe, I want to say 11 a.m. and the courthouse stops taking calls at, I believe, 10 a.m. So when it came time for my video court, I go and I log on. I've got my paperwork and it says go to, I'm not going to get it correct, but it was something like courtroom B. So I go to log on, I go and I'm looking at all these courtrooms and it's like 1, 2, and 3. There's no A, B, and C. So I literally cannot go to the courtroom that I'm supposed to go to. So I need to file something with the court. I forget exactly what it's called, but I need to go back and claim unequal access to the court. Because essentially, if they didn't give me the right courtroom to go to and I'm not able to go to it, that's why I didn't attend the court. So that's where it stands. But yeah, they still haven't, those two claimed agents, because they were only claimants, they still haven't provided their full names to me. All I have is
What
Alaska.
happened with Fish and Game? Is this in Alaska?
No, this is in California. So I was fishing on my kayak, and I actually wasn't technically fishing. I was on my kayak. I forgot all my terminal gear. So I had fishing poles, but I didn't have anything to tie onto the end of them. So I'm really just floating around on my kayak, and I'm watching these kids jump off of a bridge. And I have my sounder on, so I can sound the bottom and do like radar pings and tell them how deep it is. So I was telling them how deep it was, and if there was traffic coming from underneath the bridge, so they don't jump onto someone's boat. That's what I was doing. And Fish and Game stops me and asks me for my fishing license and ID. And equity law, meaning everything's got to be equal. I asked them for theirs. If they're going to ask me for my ID, I asked them for theirs. Well, they didn't have their IDs. They didn't have any kind of signed oath of office to say that they held that position. They didn't have any proof of insurance saying that they were insured to collect the property that they were collecting from me. So they didn't have anything. They had zero credentials, yet they wrote me a ticket anyways. So essentially, they're just claiming that they're Fish and Game agents. They didn't verify anything, and they still haven't. So essentially, their ticket is completely null and void. They have to verify who they are if asked, and I did ask who they were. It's just procedure. That's all it is. But it's due process. There's two kinds of due process. There's procedural due process, and then there's substantive due process. And they actually they have neither. So they need to have substance to their claim, but then they also have to be.
How much was this fine for fishing?
$650.
$650? That is a lot of money.
That's a lot off. Joe V
And
thought
were
it was
you not just
$25.
like, hey, I actually don't even have anything for the end of my fishing pole, or like?
Right. Yeah, they didn't care. They have no care for procedure. They're just going to go after the low hanging fruit. That's not going to challenge them on their claims, and that's not me. That's not me at all. Although I am extremely busy, and it's been like 2 years. But I don't think there's a statute of limitations when the court's procedurally incorrect.
I was just gonna say that it's gotta have been like 2 years now.
Yeah, but there's no statute of limitations.
Jim is asking, what does a moderator do? You kind of touched on it a little bit, but what I guess.
Yeah, so that's the gripe that I have with YouTube, is that I'm not able to do anything positive. I'm not able to highlight comments. I mean, other than like when I write, I'm not able to really do anything to reinforce people's good actions or anything, or good comments. All I can really do is moderate and be block people, or put them on timeout, just do negative things. So yeah, I'd like to be a little more positive. That'd be nice. YouTube.
If if you're listening.
If you're listening, they are.
We can't hear you, Mark.
You're muted.
People just saying, yeah, simple, tiny homes. Yeah. Well, let's either dig into a little bit more about how, you know, you seem to be very active or strong views on Bitcoin. So when people are talking about Bitcoin or calling it the tulip coin or things like that, right? You do voice your thoughts on it.
What
But
does that mean, the tulip coin?
Heider, you want to touch
Does
on
that mean
that?
like it wilts or something? Like,
When was that? That was in like 14 something in Norway or something like that. Shoot, some other country. They were selling tulips back and forth. Just literally the flowers and the bulbs. It became a fad, and people were paying just huge top dollar prices for these tulips. And there's a story of some guy who came from a foreign land, and he saw this tulip, and he thought it was food, so he ate it. And everybody, oh, you just ate like $1,000 tulip or something, whatever, you know, denomination they were using. But yeah, it was pretty funny that he ate this expensive tulip.
that's funny.
Yeah, when really tulips, they just don't hold any real value.
Yeah,
It's just a flower.
I get it. They're basically saying it's not inherently valuable. It's just
Yeah, which there's an
perceived.
argument to be made. Is there really like intrinsic value?
Mhm.
It
I'm
kind of
unmuted.
depends. Right. Yeah, it depends on the when, right? Like, yeah, I need water until I'm underneath it, and I can't get underneath. I can't get above it. Yeah, then I need air more than I need the water. So everything's substantial. What am I looking for? Situational. That's the word.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's fun.
all money is the same in that way, that it doesn't have like a dollar bill only has value because we've agreed that it has value.
Yeah, right. Yeah, same with gold. Gold doesn't really have that super whole lot of value that we can all just use it for everyday uses. Silver, Bitcoin, I mean, it just doesn't matter what it is. It's those goods and services that really matter. But yeah, the thing about Bitcoin is it's simply a digital ledger. I mean, just like your bank uses. It's just a digital ledger, except that this digital ledger is decentralized. So there's something like 22,000 different computer nodes all over the world that are individual, if you would. And each one of these needs to come to a consensus on each transaction on the Bitcoin ledger. They do that every 10 minutes. So there's no one central guy or business controlling the Bitcoin network. It controls itself through that decentralization. That's why I really like it. It's outside the dollar system. There's no one to say, hey, Heider, you can't do this transaction. Or, hey, Heider, you have to do this transaction. Or, hey, Heider, you have to do this transaction in this certain way. I choose to do the transaction based upon the Bitcoin protocol. If I don't like that protocol, then I don't do the transaction. But there's no surprises. It's just a computer network that does what it does. It's a computer protocol. What people think about it doesn't change what it actually is. You know, it's sound money. It's taking something that's digital and it's actually giving it scarcity, which I think what hangs up a lot of people. Like, how can something be digital also be scarce? But it's because it's controlled by that computer code. The computer code that, again, is decentralized amongst all these 22,000 some odd nodes all over the world. So you can't just go to one computer and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna hack this thing. It doesn't work that way. You'd actually have to go to 11,001 computers and hack them all at the same time within 10 minutes. And that's why it has been so secure, because nobody could do that. And somebody will bring up the quantum computing, but I think that can also be used to further secure the Bitcoin network. It's not just a negative. It's a tool just like any other tool, and it can be used against the Bitcoin network and to further secure, I think. Any other questions?
Joel, you have a question?
Well, I have a lot to say on it, and I'll just try to keep it as simple as possible. Anytime market makers get into the game, then you start to create infinite supply with swaps and derivatives and kicking the can down the road. I mean, you have treasury companies that are purchasing tens of thousands of Bitcoin throughout the months and stockpiling and hoarding, yet the price is going down. Obviously, you have a lot of traders in the game, and retail maybe, selling on fear. But at the end of the day, I mean, there was a article talking about how when 10 o'clock Eastern hits, that there's this massive dump off and the price of Bitcoin goes down 1% or 2% based off of all the ETFs, and they're basically gaming the price. And so the big money, they're controlling the price. They're going to do with it what they want to do with it, and at some point they're going to have a come to Jesus moment and fulfill all the sales, so to speak, and then you're going to have a short squeeze, and then the price is going to skyrocket in a short period of time. So if you're not going to be able to time the market. It's going to have to be in the game or not. And that's just my belief. Again, not financial advice, but again, once the big boys are in, the market makers are in the game, it's out of our control. They can control price. And so my biggest thing is, Bitcoin in theory is a great thing for what it is, but now that you have market makers in there that can create supply without having to fulfill, now it's not really this limited supply of a currency. So
Yeah, I think that's another hang up is people need to not trust but verify. So every transaction on the Bitcoin network can be verified. Every coin, every Satoshi, which is just a fraction of a Bitcoin, can be verified on the Bitcoin network, but it has to be verified. So these ETFs can say, "Hey, we've got 100 Bitcoin," but do they really have it, or are they just saying it? We can go onto the Bitcoin network and see, okay, this 100 coins are actually there. But again, that's kind of onerous.
Cody Evers is saying, why Bitcoin and not other coins besides adoption and Satoshi?
For me, none of the other ones check all the boxes. And off the top of my head, I'm not sure what all the boxes are. But being decentralized, having a cap of 21 million, that's huge. What else? Yeah, I'm gonna screw up on all the boxes, but they don't have everything that Bitcoin has. And actually, what Bitcoin has is nothing new. Bitcoin is just a new combination of a whole bunch of old technology. It just so happens to be that new combination that creates Bitcoin, which is now newer. What is it, 17, 18 years old now, I think. But yeah, Bitcoin checks all the boxes that I want to see. The security, the decentralization, the store of value. The adoption rate's been good.
Demetrius Costas says, or someone would have to own 51% of the Bitcoin supply, but the chances of that are very slim just based on how much Bitcoin is already lost.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure owning half of the supply would do it. I think controlling half the network would do it.
Brady Morgan.
We should definitely have Nick and I back on, though.
Yeah,
Nick, I could learn from him.
Yeah, Nick will be on in 2 weeks. I think he's at March Madness, so we're gonna have to skip this week. And last week I had no internet. Power was out for like 15 hours because of the storm, so we had to cancel. But Brady Morgan says, pump and dump. Big institutional buyers are currently propping up the price with their large acquisitions. They stop, and the price will fall much further. Cody Evers asks, can they just create a new, better Bitcoin?
I think so. I don't know if it would be better, but I don't think there's anything stopping someone from creating the same thing that is Bitcoin. But the adoption rate would suffer, I think, because there's already one out there that's well established. But yeah, that has been talked about, because I've thought about that same thing. Like, why not just create a Bitcoin number 2, and it's got all the same qualities? But someone has talked about that, and they said, well, Bitcoin number 1, if you would, it's already established, so that's already got the network behind it. So why would somebody risk on the Bitcoin number 2.
Do you know of a movie based around a giant company trying to get 50% of a network? Was it Ready Player One?
That might have been it. I saw it one time. That might have been it a couple of years ago.
So yeah, so like let's kind of get a little bit back about, Bitcoin is definitely different than maybe the one rent at a time community, but what do you see about the differences, trying to build those relationships online? Like, is there a difference that you have to kind of veer your conversation a certain way for the Bitcoin type of community and then the real estate community, or are you kind of just being all Nighter Heider everywhere?
As far as Bitcoin, I haven't found a whole lot of camaraderie in that community. I don't know how many people are doing meetups. I don't know if that's just my lack of effort. I'm not going after meetups. I'm really not interested. Real estate's my thing. Yeah, this real estate community is something else. We're cohesive. The Bitcoin community is a little less cohesive. I think they're just a lot more in agreement rather than wanting to shoulder hug each other and shake hands and stuff like that.
And last, Craig came in here from Minnesota. He's a agent investor. He's talking about leaving the Minnesota area also because things going on like California and things like that. But he's in the SKOOL
And
community.
it's cold.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I think he's grew up there, so I don't think the cold is that big of a reason why he's leaving. I think it's other factors that's going on there. But he runs the Tuesday agent call in the SKOOL community. But he says, what is your prediction on AI agents utilizing these? Ethereum is set up to be used as an exchange between AI agents. Will that impact value?
Yeah, Mark Moss has talked about this. He's a big Bitcoin proponent. He's actually the one that explained it to me and why I decided to adopt it. I shouldn't say I decided to adopt it because of his opinion. I formed my opinion based on his opinion. He's talked about all these computers are going to need a currency, and dollars aren't really it. I'm not sure exactly why digital dollars couldn't be used. I think there's just too much else surrounding it that they would need something a little more dedicated. And he's talked about Bitcoin being that dedicated kind of currency. I think that's feasible. I'd like to see it happen. That'd be good for my wallet. Although I do think it's funny that Bitcoin is priced in its antithesis. It's basically, I don't want to say maybe it's not anti-dollar, but it is the counterbalance to the dollar. So it's kind of funny that it's priced in dollars.
So what do you guys think about, we're talking about building friendships, communities online. How do you know when people are bringing value or they're just trying to collaborate on things? Because maybe you're in the same space, and are you looking to just collaborate, or are you actually trying to find people that bring value and relationships to what you're doing? Maybe Lauren, you can go first.
I mean, I kind of see those two things as one and the same. Like, I think somebody who is just trying to collaborate or what, like, I think that is value. I think that anyone that you meet that is interested and wants to like talk about real estate, and maybe they're a beginner and they're like, yeah, I don't know what value I can bring, but I'm just like here and I want to talk about it and I'm interested in it. I'm like, that's great. That I think everybody has value and that we can learn something from everyone, and all relationships are worth pursuing that are positive.
Joel,
Not
what
like,
about you? With all your background noise going on right now, but
Yeah, just turn back on. Yeah, I mean, I think my mind goes to something that's just time, right? Like we talked about the different platforms that we're all touching on: Facebook, YouTube, X, other things, Instagram. And when you're running a business or got a job and a family, whatever, like there's only so much time in the day, and it's hard to manage all these things. So, but the best thing for your social media in terms of algorithm and performance is for people to be having conversations on your page, to be, engaging and having fun in the comments. And that's, I think rare. But if you can get there and get to that point, then that's powerful to have people engaging and having conversations on your platforms. But to me, though, it's just hard to keep up with things. Then you have a school community and comments and messages, and there's just various things. So it's just a time thing for me. Just how do you keep track of all the things going on and keep up with things that while doing your job and family, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to Joel's point, YouTube likes that engagement. That's why it will reward a channel who, at the end of the video, a viewer keeps on that platform. If they click on another video, that prior video gets rewarded. Attention is a whole nother currency, if you would.
Well, I know Dion has something coming up, I believe, in about 20 minutes, part of his course call. So we'll probably be wrapping things up shortly. I know Millennial Mike probably wants Hyder to get back to work. So talk about that. Talk about that also. Like, you like you said, your home base is San Diego. You and Mike have built this great friendship, and you're out there, working on the properties. And talk about that investment that you folks are part of.
Yeah, these out-of-state job sites are something else, man. Being limited on the tools that I have out here, having to think about what can fit in my luggage, the weight, what I can bring here and what I can leave here, what I have to take back. Not knowing the layout of the city as well as I do at home, not knowing even the distributors that I go to. Each home de facto is set up a little bit different. They got a Menards out here, they got a Lowe's. I got to learn all these distributors out here. Vehicle access is limited. All these things, they take away from the efficiency of my ability to work. And that takes away from, all the time that I have. So 10 days sounds like a lot of time, but I may only get 5 days worth of work accomplished. It's out of state is tough. Out of state job sites are very tough, but I absolutely love working out here. It's different from what I've gotten used to in San Diego. Quite honestly, the snow, I love it. It's kind of starting to melt now. Otherwise, I'd show you guys. But yeah, it's definitely a different environment and a different learning curve. I love learning, so I'm just hip deep in it, and I love it. Honestly, I'd recommend people go out and do it. I love getting to see these properties.
Well, I know Flavio would say, you probably don't have a lot of room to pack your tools because you got to pack your bulletproof vests going to Gary, Indiana, and things like that. But Nick Lead Prejado here in the chat. So we were talking a little Bitcoin earlier, but thanks for stopping by, Nick. He's also doing book reviews on his channel now. So go check that out. He did a book review on Michael Zuber's One Rental at a Time. And I think his most recent one was Dion's book for the lazy investor. So go check that one out. Great book review. Hey, Josh is landed in Dallas. Where's your stuff at, Joe? Is it in Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Josh, I don't know how long you're going to be in Dallas, but Joe is having an event going on there, and Brandon's going to be one of the speakers. And Josh, also congratulations. I think I saw your son may have passed his flight test or something. You posted on Facebook. But yeah, where's your stuff again, Joe? I know you touched on it.
It's on Saturday, the 21st.
Okay, so Josh, if you're in Dallas for the whole weekend, like I said, Joe is having an event, some whiskey place, but I think Brandon will also be there. But if you want to connect,
I posted my cell phone in the chat. So Josh, if you want to scroll up and find my cell phone, text me.
All right. Lane Andy, who also has a YouTube channel, Lane 5 says, "Wash your mouth all night, Heider. Snow." I guess he's fed up with it. Yeah. It was weird. He sent me this text message. I forget what he said, but it was like one day it was like 80 degree or 70 degree, and the next day it was like snowing. I was like, what the heck? But He's in
Yeah,
Ohio.
I guess it's supposed to get into the 70s here pretty soon.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But yeah, anything else you guys want to wrap things up with? Lauren, who's your next interview for your channel going to be with?
I don't know, actually. I don't have anyone lined up at the moment, but I'm going out of town this weekend, so I'll probably do it for when I get back, like in 10 days.
All right, cool. Joe, what about you? What besides your event coming up, what else you got coming on?
I can't even think right now. I don't even know.
We'll
Just
come back to
working.
Joel.
I'm working nonstop. So yeah.
I mean, Josh said just a layover. Okay.
Okay.
Well, to Flavio's point, my pew and fully loaded magazine and travel case and locks weighs about 9 to 10 pounds. And that's about 20% of my luggage, the weight capacity. So it's quite expensive back and forth each time.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do if you're going to Gary, right? So
I value my life.
shoot, what was I just? Oh, and like I said, next week, Wednesday, Cody Evers will be joining us. So Cody is in the chat. He's in Wisconsin. So maybe we'll have him do a live of using chopsticks also. So that's the inside joke of Cody trying to figure out how to eat with chopsticks in Vegas in year 2. But Heider, any final words for everyone? Any final advice about building relationships online, finding your tribe, or the struggles people may be having?
Oh, beware the bots. No, I didn't mention bots, but quite honestly, I don't see a whole lot of them. I think most of the people we interact with are probably real humans on ORAT in the community we're in. But yeah, just be consistent. Join the live streams when you can. Leave comments every time you can. Someone will pick up on it. Maybe someone will respond. You don't actually have to be the one to initiate the conversation. Just leave a comment. What else? Yeah, be a smartass. Out network me.
No, you see, Joe V, you have to come on then. If Heider's saying be a smartass, and Joe V will be perfect for this.
Yeah, it's good at that.
But hopefully, Millennial Mike is paying you well and not give you some breaks and not working you too hard out there. But hopefully, is that the project that he still had? He had that video on that you guys are still working on. Is that the?
Right now, I'm at the 5-plex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
your project. It's your investment with him, right? That one.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, Josh, Marlon, thanks for stopping by. Cody says send him some sushi. But yeah, next week's one will be a fun one too. Cody doing a lot of cool stuff out there. Outsmart ass Heider. Good luck. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Everyone go comment on Zuber's videos. I'm having a harder time finding comments to bring up to him on our recordings on Thursday. I definitely hope he goes back to his clickbait titles, which cause a lot more interaction, but definitely it is getting harder and harder to find comments to run through. I'm gonna mute this guy, man. Jesus Christ. But Millennial Mike says, great job, Ryan. And yeah, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, if you want to jump on the Wednesdays with us, let me know. We are probably got the next 4 weeks lined up, and I will be back live streaming with Emily Lopez on Friday. So thanks everyone for tuning in.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.